Alright kids, today we're going to talk about something new. We're going to talk about similes and metaphors. And they're both types of figurative language that we have also talked about in our poetry unit so far. So first we're going to start with similes. And similes basically are where you're comparing two things and you're comparing them using like or as. So I could say the moon is like a giant peach in the sky. Or I could say walking through the grass was like walking through a pile of mud or something similar to that. You could use your imagination, and they can be far-fetched type similes where the things that you're comparing are way different, or they could be very similar things that you would associate with each other. The big thing though with a simile is that you compare two things using like or as. A metaphor is very similar to the simile. The only difference is in a metaphor you compare those things directly. You leave out the like or as and you compare them directly by saying the moon was a giant peach in the sky, or walking through the grass was walking knee-deep in mud. And you see the difference there. It's pretty subtle, but yet the similes and metaphors have a little bit different impact in your poems then. The metaphors tend to be a little bit more direct, where you're putting it out there. Similes, you're saying, well, it was kind of like that, so it's not quite as direct. The cool thing about metaphors is that you can then extend that metaphor, and you can go beyond just the one little comparison that you're making, and you can extend that throughout your poem. For example, if you wanted to say something about the moon being that giant peach in the sky, you could also then talk about the stars maybe representing something else that relates to that peach. Or you could talk about the night being a blanket to cover your peach. You know, anything you want to do, and that's the cool thing about poetry. You can use your poetic license that we talked about before, and you can be a little daring or extend a little beyond what your comfort zone is. So today's lesson, similes, comparing two things using like or as, and metaphors, comparing two things directly without using that like or as. That's it for today.